The weekend of winning in the Valley, and what a fun time it is to be an Arizona sports fan. What's up? And good morning, and welcome to Cronkite Sports Now here on Facebook Live. Let's talk W's. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, the Sun Devils look ahead to one of their biggest games of the season as they're heating up just at the right time. From fire to the ice, the Coyotes get back to their winning ways. And from the robotics side of things, the story of the Desert Wave. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Scotty Gange. So Washington State head coach Mike Leach called a Sun Devil a mythical creature a few weeks back. All in good fun, of course. But he honestly may have been right. At his own demise. As freshman quarterback Jaden Daniels and the Devils absolutely exploded for their best offensive game of the season on Saturday, beating the Air Raid Cougars with their passing attack 38-34. Now Daniels earned his third Pac-12 Freshman of the Week honors in just 6 games with his 363 passing yards. So while the joy and accolades of the win may carry on for a while for fans of the maroon and gold, for Herm Edwards and the squad, all eyes are on the next battle up in Salt Lake City against the number 13 ranked Utah Utes.
They're a very powerful football team on both sides. They're big up front. They're physical. We knew that coming in here last year. They've scored a lot of points and don't allow a lot of points. They're averaging about 34 points a game, and opponents are on average 13. So we will have our hands full, to say the least. Coach has done a marvelous job up there. He's been there a long time. He has created a program a little bit like his image. Tough. They're very tough. You know that when you play a team like this.
So the 5-1 Utah Utes are favored by 14 points in Vegas, but are one of just 4 teams in the entire country that has not played an opponent with a winning record. So kickoff is set for 3 p.m. Arizona time on Saturday, but there's another clock to watch for Sun Devil fans as HBO offers an inside look into ASU's program tonight at 7 p.m.
On the next 24/7 college football, see firsthand how Arizona State is revolutionizing their program.
You can never cheat the game of football.
Herm Edwards has the Sun Devils soaring.
The practice, the preparation is bigger than the game.
As they get ready for their Pac-12 conference showdown with Washington State.
Our hands got to match our feet. Bam, bam, bam.
This is going to be so much fun to watch. And finally, we're getting to see it, right? You know what's funny about that, though? Is that exact statement right there is what every Cardinals fan has been saying for the past few days. It took a tie, 3 agonizing losses. But Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals are streaking as they beat the Atlanta Falcons by 1 point at State Farm Stadium on Sunday. And Kyler Murray was just named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week after going 27 of 37 for 340 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, too. Okay, so to catch you all up on the weekend, the Devils win again. The Cards grabbed their 2nd straight victory. The Coyotes, well, they lost to the Avalanche in overtime, but then they came right back last night and they got themselves a win. You see, it came from the Yotes center Christian Dvorak as he scored his first 2 goals of the season, as both he and his head coach, Rich Tocchet, gave the praise to his line for their immense strength.
I think we were just, we had obviously a good breakout, so we transitioned well. Going with speed, so I think we did a good job as a line, and we got to make sure we keep that going.
They got some chemistry right now. You know, Schmaltzy, I think the last 2-3 games has been really, really good. You know, he's worn the rust off. You know, he's stopping on pucks, stuff that he's been working on. Devo's, I think, had a good, all year has been good for us, and another good night in the draws. He won some big face-offs for us, so it was a good line for us.
Hockey will be returning to the Valley tomorrow night as the Coyotes will host the Nashville Predators with puck drop at 7 p.m. And with the men on the ice coming back to AZ, the Valley boys on the court look to do the same as the Phoenix Suns wrapped up the NBA preseason with splitting their 2 games against Portland and Denver this past weekend. Now, the Suns will enjoy a week off before they host the Sacramento Kings a week from today to tip off the 2019-2020 season. And to highlight the 2019 Fall League season, it was the best of the best, East versus West Saturday night in the annual Arizona Fall League Fall Stars game, as it featured 12 players from the MLB Pipeline's top 100 prospects. Now, one of those top prospects is D-back Seth Beer, who was all smiles with Cronkite News reporter Brady King before the game. Now, primarily an outfielder, Beer spent the 2019 season with the Salt River Rafters at first base and played all of his AZFL games at that position. While fall ball for Beer has been filled with footwork and countless ground balls, it's also been full of familiar faces, as this experience brought him back together with his old baseball buddies, which Beer says makes it that much easier to truly have fun and put on a show for the fans. And a bonus for Seth, the Atlanta native has grown quite fond of Arizona.
It's been everything I could ever ask for. Obviously, the weather during this time of the year is just incredible, and I've just been enjoying every bit of it. And I just think being out here with a lot of the coaching staff and a lot of the people throughout the system, being able to be around all those guys too, has made me feel really comfortable. And I really would say this is a place I want to call home someday.
Bears East squad topped the West in the Fall Stars game. And with Bears Raptors next game today at 3:30 in Peoria, really looking forward to that matchup. But this past year, ASU and the Si Se Puede Foundation partnered together to create a women's autonomous underwater vehicle team called Desert Wave. And Cronkite News reporter Millard Thomas found that although they may be new, they're well on their way to a successful start.
Desert Wave team was having its first meeting with no expectations. Now, the members are overachievers, taking home first place in the country and third in the world in the Robo Nations Robo Sub competition this past summer.
We just wanted to get as many points as we could. We weren't anticipating we would reach this level. We were hoping to just be in the top 50%, and here we are in third place.
For many of the members, this was their first time ever working with robotics, so the process to start building was slow at first.
We didn't know anything. We didn't know how anything worked or how anything functioned, so everything was like a huge learning curve. Now we sort of have an initial process and we kind of know what to expect.
They didn't know how to, use computer modeling to design the robot. They didn't know necessarily how to solder, all these different skills, and then all of a sudden now they're taking the reins and now they are the ones who are teaching the next wave of students coming in.
According to 2017 stats by the Society of Women Engineers, only 9.5% of women had the intention of majoring in STEM. Desert Wave knows they can be an inspiration for others, and their success has already made an impression on a couple of young fans.
We get to inspire other girls all around the world, the country, and in our first meeting we had actually 3 younger girls. I believe they were all around the ages of 8. And they came and we got to talk to them about our robot and what we do. And leaving the meeting, you could tell how inspired they were, and that just meant the world to us.
Their winning AUV was named Phoenix because it rose from the ashes. The team hopes to continue to rise so they get a jump on building their next robot. For Cronkite News, in Mesa, Millard Thomas.
So it may be underwater, but I'll tell you what, Team Desert Wave is trending up the mountain, and that's pretty cool, as they hope to place even higher at the Robo Sub competition next summer. So that does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.